Suggestions that will help you transition into the high ticket sales space faster. So the first thing here is creating a 1-year game plan specifically drawn out for high ticket sales. This is important. It's crucial for those of you guys who have gone through a sales training program. Again, the pitch, the big lie was that, you're going to be able to make this transition, almost immediately, which is typically not the case. So for those of you who have been doing your outreach, let's just say struggling to find and land a quality sales role, I need you guys to think 1 year out. I need you guys to commit to 1 year in the high ticket sales space, giving it everything that you can. This is why we don't quit our jobs, is so that way we can start out part-time in the high ticket sales space and transition into the space, being able to leave your job. It's a transition. It takes time, right? So leveraging and committing to a 1-year game plan specifically for the high ticket sales space lets you know that you're going to be doing this for the next year, and you're going to commit and you're going to improve on a daily basis, but you're going to put in the effort, you're going to put in the work, because we just want to get out of that get rich quick mentality that most of you guys, let's just say, have or are dealing with. And ultimately you guys were pitched and sold on kind of a get rich quick mentality, no matter how you kind of want to slice it. So it's important. Most of us are, we think like employees, right? We're trying to get into the high ticket space as an entrepreneur, right? So that transition takes time. That mindset shift, it takes time. And so if you guys can commit 1 year and reverse engineer your most impactful goal over the next year, what does that look like? So over the next year, I want to be a closer. Within the next year, that's my goal. I want to become a closer, right? Where I'm making, let's just say, $10,000 a month. That is possible. That's possible. That's feasible. That's something that we can definitely make happen. Can you make over, 10K per month? Absolutely. It is possible. But at the same time, are we putting in the work? Are we putting in the time? Are we putting in the effort? Are we continuously investing in ourselves so that way we can get there? But this 1 year game plan, it goes into goal setting, and I'm sure some of you guys have set goals and you put together your vision boards and things of that nature. And that's what I really want to emphasize here. I want you to really think big. And so I spent a little time in the coaching space where I did some life coaching and transformation coaching and business and entrepreneurship coaching. Not a lot of time there, but definitely went through the curriculum and things of that nature. Had a few clients. So that was, that's just a little bit of my background and what else, I can actually kind of bring to the table here, but because it's all perspective, right? But what I was teaching there is I helped people build out their ultimate lifestyle. Now, what does that look like? So that means we got to set 1 year goals, 5 year goals, 10-year goals, 15-year goals, and then the ultimate lifestyle, your dream lifestyle. So if money wasn't an issue, like, what does that look like? What does that lifestyle look like for you and your family? What type of cars are you driving? What type of home are you living in which state very specifically? Hey, are you investing? What does that ultimate lifestyle look like? Are you traveling all over the world? Are you traveling East, West Coast? Like, what does that look like for you very specifically? Because now your 15-year goals, your 10-year goals, your 1 year goal, your most impactful goal, those are all stepping stones in order to achieve that ultimate lifestyle. And so if you guys are just kind of coming into this without planning, without setting goals, without setting up your vision board, and reverse engineering that and getting very specific and very detailed, you're going to continue to struggle. And this is going, and you're going to struggle within entrepreneurship, because this is important. Mindset is important. Understanding that we have to give something in return, right? So we've got to offer something very specific in order to receive money, lifestyle, whatever that looks like. Again, you can't get something for nothing. You always have to give back. but we want to be very intentional. And so therefore, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's create, for you guys, create a 1-year game plan, commit to the high ticket sales space and reverse engineer that in a methodical way. So that way we can actually set ourselves up for success. We've got to start with the baby steps, right? Finding and landing a quality sales role. What does that look like? Starting out like getting, putting your ego aside, starting out as an SDR, get really good at becoming an SDR and doing the SDR outreach, building consistent income and mastering that skill set, because the best closers were appointment setters. So it's a transitional process, and transitioning into the high ticket sales space, there are steps, right? So get your foot in the door, you learn appointment setting, you get really good at it to the point where people are asking you to take their credit card. That's when like you're there, you've done it, like you've, and it doesn't stop. Like, no, we want to continuously improve, but that's when like you're on the right track and you're ready to actually transition into a hybrid role, transition into a closing role. And so it's just super important, having a 1-year game plan, committing to the high ticket sales space, like super important. I really want to impress upon that. It's having a 1-year plan and committing. We're not going all in, like I said, we've got to methodically transition out of your job, right? So when you think about it, right? So this is what we suggest. This is what I suggest. It's, hey, if you work a full-time job, let's find a sales role that will allow you the flexibility to work, 20 hours part-time, right? As an SDR, we'll just say. And the whole goal here is to work that 20 hours while you're working your 40 hours. Yes, you're grinding. This is not supposed to be easy, guys. But we're grinding, we're doing it. So ultimately what we want to happen is we want to build a consistent income working our part-time role, or part-time sales role, consistent income. So to the point where we're going to match our full-time income. When that day happens, when that day comes where you've established this skill set, you improved your skill set, and you've built consistent revenue on multiple offers as an SDR. Now you prove to yourself that you do have this skill set, that you can do and make money consistently regardless of the offer. Now we're making as much money working part-time as our full-time job. Now at that point, if you're making that much money to offset, now it might be wise, and this is what I suggest, that you ask your employer to work part-time. So now you flip the script. So now you can put in, let's just say 30 to 40 hours on a full-time sales role while working part-time at your job. So that way you still have that, I'm not going to say safety and security, but you still have that stable paycheck, because we're still getting familiar and acclimated with this industry, right? And again, the volatility, we don't know what's going to happen sometimes. And so we've got that safety net of a part-time income. And if you want to find a part-time job that is more fulfilling, I always like kind of like roles where I can make commission or tips or something to that extent. And that's kind of what I suggest as far as like working a part-time, a part-time job, where it gives me the ability to maximize my earning potential, working something that I might enjoy doing a little bit more, but gives me the capacity on commissions or tips. So now we're grinding, we're doing our thing, right? And so we just want to get to the point where we're building a consistent income. We're able to deliver, right, on multiple offers. We've built up a nest egg, right? And if you have a wife or a husband where they're working too, where it just makes sense on all fronts, but at the end of the day, it's you proving to yourself that you can do this on a consistent basis. When that day happens, when you built the nest egg, your spouse is super supportive because they're working, and it just makes sense to go in full time, where you don't need, you don't need that part-time job anymore. That's when I suggest actually quitting your job. When the stars align and everybody is on board and you're not putting your family in danger. because of the volatility of the high ticket sales space. So it's super important to game plan. Have a game plan as you're coming into the space and commit to it. I hope that makes sense.